Yeah.
That gentleman right there will always have my respect. Him and Bruce Lee are the reason why I got into martial arts. 100%. Watching Chuck Norris movies when I was a kid, one of my proudest moments of my life was in Chuck Norris doing who I was. I ran into him at a kickboxing event in New Jersey, like way back in the day, and he gave me this big hug. It was one of his events that he had. He had a World Combat League. He gave me a big hug. I was like, holy sh*, Chuck Norris knows who I am.
March 20th, 2026. The world woke up, just a little bit emptier. A man is gone. A man who, for millions, was the embodiment of unbreakable will, iron fists, and that absolute sense of justice, the kind that always wins. Chuck Norris, a legendary martial artist, the king of 80s and 90s action cinema, a global icon whose name became a symbol. He passed away at the age of 86.
Sad news to report here. The world mourning the loss of martial arts legend Chuck Norris after he was hospitalized for a medical emergency. And Norris's breakout role as Bruce Lee's fierce opponent in Way of the Dragon cemented his place as an action star. He became a household name in the 1980s and 90s, and he was probably best known as the vigilante lawman in Walker, Texas Ranger. Norris was fierce and disciplined both on and off screen.
The news hit like one of his signature spinning kicks, sudden, brutal, unforgettable. Just a week earlier, on March 10th, he was celebrating his 86th birthday, and in his final social media post, he shared a street workout video with a caption that sounded exactly like him. "I don't age, I level up." It felt like it would last forever, like Chuck Norris was the one exception to the rules, the man who could outplay time itself. But on March 19th, during another strength workout in Hawaii, the heart of a legend stopped. He passed away, surrounded by family, with the same dignity he lived his life with. Today, we're not just saying goodbye to an actor, we're saying goodbye to an entire era.
Two of my brothers were teaching at the Gracie School in Carson, was Higan and Carlos. And I think by that time, Chuck Norris was no longer training with Horion at the Gracie School there. Not sure what happened, and he stopped training. Then one day, Chuck Norris show up at our house, at our garage. We used to teach in our garage in Redondo Beach, and we opened the door, suddenly look, it's like, man, that guy looks like Chuck Norris. then the student was with him, oh, this is Chuck Norris, and we look like, what? And he brought him to train. He did train a few years back at the Gracie School and blah, blah, blah. And it's a long story short, then he started training for us. And when he started training for us, we become very good friends. It was amazing, like something right away. He invited us to his house. And
he's a great guy.
Man, amazing person, start hanging out. And
guys, real quick, over 90% of you are watching without subscribing. It takes 2 seconds for you. It means everything to me. Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and let's get into it. The warrior's path, from a trailer in Oklahoma to the top of the world. Carlos Ray Norris was born on March 10th, 1940, in the small town of Ryan, Oklahoma, in a family of a mechanic who, unfortunately, struggled with alcoholism. His childhood, far from easy, poverty, constant moving, living in a trailer with his mother and 2 younger brothers. In other words, darkness. But that's exactly what forged him. In his veins ran the blood of Irish fighters from his father's side and Cherokee warriors from his mother's. That combination gave him not just a striking presence, but a stubborn, unbreakable spirit. In school, he was quiet, shy. He dreamed of becoming a police officer and earned money for his first used car working as a loader. But destiny had other plans. Right after high school, Norris enlisted in the United States Air Force and was sent to South Korea, and that's where everything changed. To escape the boredom of military life, he stepped onto the mat for the first time. Starting with judo, he quickly transitioned to Tang Soo Do, a Korean martial art that became his obsession. By the time he was discharged in 1962, Chuck Norris already held a black belt, and when he came back to the US, he didn't slow down, he went all in. In 1963, he opened his first karate school. By 1968, he was running a network of 32 schools across the country.
Who gave you the nickname first?
I joined when I went in the military, and I'm in boot camp, and the Hispanic guy says, you know what the name Carlos means in English? I said, yeah, it's Charles. He says, yeah, and the nickname for Charles is Chuck, and I'm gonna call you Chuck. And for some reason, it stuck with me, and from that point on, everyone called me Chuck, so I just stuck with it.
The Fighter, a record that sounds like a myth. His achievements still sound unreal. but they're facts. In 1968, Chuck Norris became the world middleweight karate champion under the Professional Karate Association, PKA, and held that title for 7 straight years, over 160 fights, losses only early in his career, and from 1968 onward, undefeated. But collecting titles was never enough for him. He became a creator. In 1990, Norris founded his own martial arts system, Chun Kuk Do, blending Korean fighting styles, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and karate. As its founder, he was awarded a 10th degree black belt, and that wasn't all. He also held black belts in Judo, Jiu-Jitsu, Taekwondo, and an 8th degree black belt in Tang Soo Do.
You've never been in a real-life fight?
Not
Kind
really.
of a shy, quiet. I mean, you have a wonderful personality. You're fun to talk to. Quite handsome. But you're not that rough and tough guy that goes in and wants to blow the place apart.
Now, most of you guys that are really, like you say, the top-notch fighters are very quiet type individuals, because when you walk around with that type of an attitude, it's generally from an insecurity anyway. When you try to display a tough guy role, I don't try to do that in my films either. One time, when I'm not traveling around, I'll go into one of the karate schools and I'll teach, because I miss teaching.
Hollywood's golden era, from the Coliseum to Walker, Texas Ranger, his entry into Hollywood, almost accidental. The man who opened that door was Steve McQueen, a global star and one of Norris's karate students. But the real breakthrough came in 1972 with Bruce Lee's film, The Way of the Dragon. Norris played Colt, a ruthless American fighter hired by the Mafia, and that final fight in the Roman Coliseum. Still today, it stands as one of the greatest fight scenes in cinematic history. That moment, it launched him into the big leagues.
I've done so many fight scenes, and of course, that's where my expertise really lies, is in my fighting ability. Most of my life has been in karate, taekwondo, karate, kung fu, which is all kicking and punching, blocking type of a art. And now more into the grappling concepts, the on-the-ground type concepts. It's the philosophy that my characters deal with. Overall, they're good characters. They're honorable type characters that are put into situations that they have to deal with many times in a violent situation. But it's not because they want to, it's because they have to, and I think that's the difference.
By the late 70s, fame found him. He became the face of a very specific archetype, a ruthless, honorable enforcer of justice, hard but fair. Breaker, 1977, set the tone. The 80s turned him into a hit machine. Canon Pictures made him their main weapon. Lone Wolf McQuade, 1983, a Texas Ranger taking on the criminal underworld and a deadly enemy played by David Carradine. Code of Silence, 1985, showing he could act, not just fight, standing against a corrupt system.
How I started in jiu-jitsu, I was in Rio de Janeiro on vacation. And I was going around to all the different martial arts schools and working out. And every school I went to, the name Gracie Jiu-Jitsu kept popping up. And they said, oh man, the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, ooh. And I said, I've got to find out who they are. So I finally tracked them down in Rio, and I went to their school. And I met Mr. Gracie, the father. I met Rickson Gracie, who was the world champion at that time, and Hoist Gracie. And so I asked them if I could work out with them. And they said, very cordial. They said, of course. And I was a black belt in judo, so I thought I had some pretty good grappling skills. Anyway, I got on the ground with Rickson Gracie. And it's like I'd never had a lesson in my life. He played with me.
The Delta Force, 1986, a classic patriotic action film based on real events. Invasion, USA, sealing his image as the ultimate defender against global threats. But the real love from the audience? It came with Walker, Texas Ranger, from 1993 to 2001. 8 years, over 200 episodes, a global audience in the billions. Cordell Walker became more than a character. He became a symbol.
In Germany, it's on Sunday, right? Yeah, every Sunday I see Walker as a mini movie, and that's why even during the season in America when we have reruns, our ratings are still very high, because the stories that Walker does are kind of stories that you wouldn't mind seeing more than one time. It's like my movies. My movies in America show over and over and over again on television, because people don't mind watching them more than one time. And I think Walker's the same way. Walker's the kind of a series that you don't mind seeing the same episode more than one time.
More than a fighter, philosophy, legacy, and the phenomenon, Chuck Norris was bigger than the screen. In 1989, he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but his cultural impact goes far beyond awards. In the 90s, he founded Kickstart Kids, helping teenagers find discipline through martial arts. He wrote books. 3 of them became New York Times bestsellers. He promoted a healthy lifestyle, but his most unexpected legacy, the Chuck Norris Facts, a meme that outgrew the internet itself. Chuck Norris counted to infinity, twice. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up, he pushes the earth down. Death doesn't come for Chuck Norris, it waits its turn.
I've been very blessed with my film career. It all began with Bruce Lee. Bruce came to New York when I fought for the world title at Madison Square Garden in 1968. And we decided to start working out together in Los Angeles, which we did for over 2 years. And then he left for Hong Kong to pursue his movie career. And I didn't hear from him for like 2 years. And then out of the blue, he calls me. He says, "Chuck, I've done 2 movies in Hong Kong and they're very successful. I want to do a movie now with a fight scene that everyone will remember. And I want to do it in the Colosseum in Rome, like 2 gladiators fighting. And I want you to be my opponent." So kiddingly, I asked Bruce, "Well, who wins, Bruce?" He says, "I win. I'm the star of this movie." So, which I knew he was going to say. And I said, "Yeah, I see. You want to beat the world champion," because I held the world title at the time. He says, "No, I want to kill the world champion." So anyway, I decided to go to Rome and do the movie with Bruce, and of course he killed me, but he said, "I don't want to make you out to be a bad guy. When I kill you, I'm going to put your uniform across your chest and put your belt there." So it's like 2 gladiators fighting each other.
And the man himself? He embraced it, calmly, philosophically. He even released the official Chuck Norris fact book, proving that even irony can be a form of love.
You mentioned that you've trained a lot of black belts who were in Russia. You're actually quite a big star in Russia. Mm-hmm. Why is that?
Well, you know, amazingly, about 3 years ago, I got invited over there to go to a kickboxing event in Moscow. And I thought, well, you know, I've never been there, so I'd like to go over there. And because, you know, I had black belts that had come over and trained with me from Russia, but I'd never been there. So I go over there, and unbeknownst to me, about 10 years ago, martial arts was outlawed in Russia. And if you used it, they put you in jail. And so they trained underground, but they had no teachers, and they were using my pirated movies, tapes, to train. Yeah, use the training aids. And so I went over there. I was like their mentor. You know, I was very surprised. And so at this kickboxing event, they had a facility of like 30,000 people. When the word got out I was going to be there, they sold it out in like 5 hours. And it was amazing because, you know, crowds don't make me nervous. This time I went to this event, and I'm sitting there with the promoter, and I could feel the energy of the crowd. You know, and I said to the promoter, you know, I get the feeling that when this is over, they're all going to want to come down. And he's all, "Don't worry," in his broken English. "We have many bodyguards," so forth. So the thing ends. Sure enough, man, these people, very compassionate people, they come charging down, and these bodyguards surround me, and then I got one on each arm, and I tell you, they were literally fighting for their lives to get me through the crowd. And the first time I'd really got nervous, I said, if they get through these bodyguards, I'm duck soup.
Oh,
boy.
come on, you could have fought your way out.
No way. Not 30,000, forget it.
Really?
No, my limit's about, well, in my movies.
The final goodbye. In 2012, Norris returned in The Expendables 2 as Booker, the Lone Wolf, a perfect ending, a tribute from a new generation to the old master. In 2024, he made one more appearance in Agent Recon, proving that even at his age, he was still in the fight. But on the morning of March 19th, 2026, in Hawaii, his heart stopped. The family kept the details private. They only said one thing. He was surrounded by loved ones, and he found peace. He lived a long, powerful, and honest life, from a shy boy in poverty to a global icon, a martial arts legend, the king of action cinema.
To the world, he was a martial artist, actor, and a symbol of strength. To us, he was a devoted husband, a loving father and grandfather, an incredible brother, and the heart of our family. He lived with his faith, purpose, and an unwavering commitment to the people he loved. The statement continues through his work, discipline, and kindness. He inspired millions around the world and left a lasting impact on so many lives. That is part of the post to Instagram from the family of this man, Chuck Norris.
He proved one thing to everyone: discipline, hard work, and willpower can break any limit. We believed he was invincible. We believed he could stop hearts with a kick, that he eats darkness for breakfast, that even death is afraid of him. But today, the legendary facts met reality. Chuck Norris is gone, but what he left behind? Dozens of films, hundreds of fights, thousands of students, and millions of smiles. Goodbye, Walker. We hope, wherever you are now, you finally found someone worthy of being your opponent. Although, we don't really believe that. Rest easy, legend. You were the best to ever do it.
I'm only 39 years old with 33 years experience.
Tell us about changing Bruce Lee's fighting style.
And when Bruce and I met, Bruce and I started working out together. And my style of fighting was, more Korean, a lot of high kicks, spinning kicks, so forth. Where Bruce's was more of in-close type fighting and low kicks. But Bruce was a very open-minded type of a guy.
Chuck, I don't know where people came across this. It is the Chuck Norris facts. It's been floating around the internet for several months now, and this is some kid who just came up with all this wild stuff about how tough you are and everything. I'm going to give people a little example of what is on there. For example, facts like Chuck Norris once challenged Lance Armstrong in a Who Has More Testicles contest. Chuck Kahunas, baby! Chuck Norris won by 5. This is the sort of stuff. We've selected 10 for you. So it's all true. So we want you to read them off for us, Chuck. Here we go.
These are 10 of them right here. And number 10 is when Chuck Norris does push-ups, he doesn't push himself up. He pushes the earth down. There are no steroids in baseball. Only players Chuck Norris has breathed on. I don't know. Believe me. Some of these ought to be screenplay writers here. Rather than being birthed like a normal child, Chuck Norris instead decided to push his way out. Punch his way out. Punch his way out. Chuck Norris once shot down a German fighter plane with his finger by yelling, "Bang." One you have learned is kicking, again, at the groin area with your hands up, ready to defend yourself. So this is the one I'm going to show you first, how to practice this with the target. I'm here, my hands are up, there's the groin, there's the face. I'm here, round kick, and then punch right into the face. Again, kicking to the groin, then punch to the face. Now I'll bring the kick up to the ribs, solar plexus, kidney area. Then I'll do the same kick, but higher, but again, the same striking technique. This time I'm going to use a palm strike, like you've learned. So I'm here, hands are up, kick, palm strike.
Look at this, Chuck Norris.
Excuse me.
You think you're so tough, don't you?
Look, nobody's looking for trouble, okay?
Well, what's the matter? I mean, you're Chuck Norris. You're not supposed to take this crap from a dirtbag like me.
Please don't poke me.
You know what? Just leave him alone. He's not the Chuck Norris you think he is.
Oh, yeah? Not that tough in real life, are you?
Now be nice.
Hey!
Chuck, look out!
Like I told you, Jimmy, he's probably in a coma.
Number 9, WWF Survivor Series, Protecting the Undertaker. Back in the early 90s, Chuck was asked to play an enforcer for a wrestling match between The Undertaker and Yokozuna. Ask us, he got off easy.